guys and girls, my name's Dan, welcome back to The Forge. In this episode of Trust Me, I'm a Blacksmith, we are going to be making these crazy hammer eye tongs. Okay, it's not my idea, well, this is my idea, but it's not, I was inspired by someone. I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. I know these are mad, okay? I know this is crazy. If you want to find out what these are actually for, why I've made them, and the brain processing power that went into making these, or why I've made these, check out the end of the video. But enjoy the whole video, watch me doing all this crazy stuff, and then we can talk about this nonsense at the end. Not quite sure what size stock that we need for this project, so I've kind of made an educated guess. It's all 4140 or recycled forklift truck tine. So I've got about 200 mils of 31 square here, 280 millimeters of 20 square here, and about 100 mil of 31 round. This is going to be the punch. This is going to be one side of the tong, the side that's going to hold the punch, and this is going to be the side with the trough. What we're going to do is we're going to start getting these hot and start forging these out. I'm going to start with the trough. Yep. 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 My material width is 25 mil, so these should give me some nice chunky hinge plates. So I'm just going to mark that off, set that in, and then go over to the power hammer and just draw those out. So these are pretty much done. They are. Yep. 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 It's the next day and I'm just going to spend a little bit of time finishing off this half of the rein. This is one I made with Luke yesterday. We decided to call it a night, and then I'm going to forge this down and make this look really tidy and then bend it up into a V shape. I've got a student coming down later. I think we'll do that together then. And whilst I'm waiting for the student to come down, I'm going to make the other half of the tong. I'm going to do the 3 set down style, so a normal set of tongs basically. There's a video that I've recently posted. There'll be a link up here, I think it's up here the link comes from, where you can go and watch that video. Basically I will give you in masses of detail how to make a tong blank. Slightly different size stock, slightly different length nibs. This is the raw chassis of that 3 set down tong. Basically what I'm going to be doing here just now, but I'm going to smash through it a little bit on the power hammer. But if you are interested in knowing on how to make this kind of nib, this kind of tong blank, go and check out the video. I'll leave a link up here, and I'll probably chuck something down in the description as well. And also I've got myself a bolt here I'm going to use for the rivet. When I do this, it's just easier, it's quicker, and I know that it's normally pretty good material. We're also going to try something today. We're going to try and take the galvanising off this before I forge it. I'm going to chuck this in some acid. I'm just going to use vinegar. I'm going to try it at least anyway. We'll see how we get on. I don't know how well this is going to work. I've got some brick acid as well. I might do a couple of experiments. I might do 2 or 3 different acids and see how we get on stripping this. Okay, so I've got a couple of plastic containers with some relatively mild acids in. These are both acids you can buy from most hardware stores or shops. The first one is vinegar, just a malt vinegar. I think it's a diluted malt vinegar as well, so I don't know if this is actually going to work. So I'm going to put 2 bolts in there, diluted malt vinegar as well. Not to splash too much. And then I've also got myself some brick and patio acid. That's already working. Excellent, cool. So basically these 2 acids, I'm just going to try these to see what happens. You can already see that one of them is reacting quite nicely to the zinc. Strip these off. I'm going to put them outside because they're obviously going to gas off a little bit, and I'm just going to see how they work, and I'll show you later. Both lots of acids have had about 30 minutes just to do whatever it is that they do. And I've got the brick acid here, the malt vinegar here, and then some water. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take each one out and just neutralise the acid off in the water, and then just have a look at it and see what happens as well if we give it a quick wire brush. So I'm going to do that, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so these are the bolts that have been left in the brick acid, and I would expect to see clean metal under the brick acid. And after a bit of a wire brushing, I'm just going to get rid of some of that water. Still seems to be plating on there of some description. But it's definitely been etched. So I'm going to put this back in the brick acid, and I'm going to leave it for another half an hour. These were the ones that were left in the malt vinegar, and don't look like anything's happened. They just look a bit cleaner, so I'll give them a bit of a try and key them up a bit, and then I'm going to stick them back in the malt vinegar. I've drawn out most of the rain, and I just need to finish doing the hinge plate on that blank. So I'm going to leave that alone for a minute, and what I'm going to work on now is I'm going to do the hammer drift part. I basically need about this much out of this drift. So this is my current hammer eye drift that I'm using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to forge a shortish taper, about 1 inch of material, shortish taper, and I'm going to get that trying to look about the same as this. I'm going to probably have a 2-inch long drift, so 25mm taper I'm going to start with, and then probably going to draw that down to 50mm. 31mm round stock, I'll put inches somewhere, but I'm going to do that now. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work, so I'll probably make it a little bit thinner than I'm thinking it's going to be, but we'll see what happens anyway. Right, so I'm going to get on with this now. Once that's cooled down, then I'm going to finish the hinge plate on that. Then we're going to roughly put the two items together, and then when they're together, we're going to see how this looks in there. Okay, so we've got our two nibs completely roughed out and they're looking pretty good. There's a lot more material in certain places than I would have liked, but this is the first time I've ever done this, and we've also got the hammer eye drift roughed out. So the next step is to adjust these reins, these nibs up here, and bend these up into a V shape. I think I'm going to start V and see how we go, because I think a V shape is going to be able to hold a lot more than a trough will, so a rounded shape. And then what I'm also going to do is bend this up so that we've got a gap in here for our hammer, and then work out how we're going to punch the hole. I'm a bit tentative about the hole punching. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slit quite a large hole, and then I'm going to drive this drift through that hole so it goes through in one direction. And then I think I might rivet them together once we've got that process done, get them riveted together, and then I can get a couple of sets of hammers made and just pop them in and just have a look at them. So I might not get these 100% finished today, but they'll definitely be functional at some level. I'm going to use a slitting punch that's almost chisel-like. Now I've got a video making this, and I'll put a link to it up now. And by slitting it like this means that I'll remove hardly any material and push this apart really nicely and be able to drive that drift through and not have any real serious thinning of any walls or anything. again, and again. Yep, keep going. Yep. 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 Okay, so these two frothy pots seem to be doing something. I don't know whether or not the malt vinegar is doing anything, but I'm going to take them out, give them a wash, see where they are. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to do any more with the brick acid. It seems to have done quite a nice job. It's still bubbling away, lovely. But let's have a look and see what we've got. Well, it would appear that the brick acid is the best for the job, but the malt acid, or the malt vinegar, is also working, but just a bit slower. The bolts themselves have been in now for about 3 hours in total, so it's quite a long period of time. I've got some more of these bolts that I'm interested in stripping, so I'm going to put another 3 bolts into the brick acid and let that do its job for a little bit longer. However, I'm going to leave these 2 bolts in the malt vinegar. Now the thing about the vinegar is it's a lot safer to use at home, and I know you can buy vinegar in stronger intensities. This is something that I would put on food. So it does work, it's very safe, and it's reasonably low risk. However, the brick acid itself is quite a concentrated vinegar, so it's probably quite dangerous, and I'm probably doing lots of things wrong whilst using it. I do know you can get a slightly more concentrated version of the vinegar as well, which might work a bit better. I'll keep playing with this idea and seeing if we can find other acids that are commercially available that work quite well for stripping the galv off of these bolts. So I'll, like I said, leave the malt, see how that gets on, and then do a few more in the brick. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed watching me make these tongs. They came out lovely. They look great. They do a reasonable job, they definitely need improving. That is for sure. These are nowhere near perfect. Okay, when I first left college, I got this opportunity to make this stainless steel eagle thing. I might share some pictures of it, I don't know, we'll see. But I made a set of tongs to hold the talons that I had laser cuts, and they had like a hole in it with a bit that came off. And yeah, I made these, and I've not seen these for a long time, and they're awful. And then I had been scrolling through some of Jacob Farham's. He's an Instagram guy, go and check him out. I'll leave a link to his Instagram in my description. And he'd made these hammer eye tongs that were basically 2 hammer eye drifts that locked themselves into a hammer. And I am nowhere near as good as Jacob as making hammers. There's no way I could have got as consistent hammer eyes like he does in order to guarantee that I wasn't going to mess up basically having hammer eye drifts that were touching each other inside the hammer eye, meaning that they weren't going to hold what I wanted to do, basically. So I can hold the hammer like so, and then using the power hammer, I can obviously modify these faces so that that everything's line and true, and I don't have to worry about struggling to hold them. And yeah, they work, but they're just ever so slightly too big, and they're a bit weighty, but they're so I can finish the faces nicely, get everything a bit more in line, get everything a bit more accurate. I'm trying to sort of upgrade my tooling. Spring fillers are going to be next. So yeah, that's basically why I've made them. That's where my inspiration came from. Initially, I'd made those tongs before, and I thought about doing it, and Jacob had also made those tongs himself. Do I think these are going to help? I don't think they are. Unfortunately, I think this was a bit of a stab in the dark. However, I'm going to give them a go. I am going to try them out. I'm going to see what happens. But there has been some good qualities about this. I'm quite pleased with the overall quality of the product. The end product looks quite good. I'm quite pleased with it. If nothing else, I managed to get this little V section here looking really good. I'm really pleased with how that little V section came out. I'm also really pleased with how the hole came out for these, and just the overall quality is pretty good. I'm quite happy with these. I freehanded most of them under the hammer, which is nice. I've been making tongs a little bit with spacers and stuff, this size tong with spacers and stuff, but I freehanded these and they came out pretty good. I'm quite pleased with the results. Definitely going to plow on. If these do work in any way, shape or form as good as I hope they're going to work, I will share that with you in a video. I'm going to be making some more hammers soon, make some hammer videos. So yeah, so I'm pleased with the results. I'm going to definitely use them. Was it worth it? I hope so. But again, if someone puts down in the comments, oh, this is a load of crap, I completely understand. Although, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are a subscriber, please ring that bell for notifications, because it tells you every time I make videos. I try to make a video at least once a week. I'm doing a good job at that in the minute. I'm getting one out once a week. If I get more than one out a week, it's been a good week. But I am getting quite busy, and we're moving house at the minute. So yeah, if things slow down a little bit, and lives and stuff as well might have to go out the window this month. So yeah, I'm quite busy. The workshop itself's very busy. So yeah, like I said, if things slow down a bit, I apologise for that. If you do want to support the channel in any way, shape or form, you can do so. You can do that by either, like I said, liking, subscribing, commenting on this video down below. Go through into the description. There's a couple of links there. One of the links is for my Instagram. I post quite a lot on the Instagram. There's another link there also for my Etsy, where I make things like these and I sell them. There is a link there for my Patreon as well, I believe. Go and check that out. There's all sorts of good stuff there. If you want extra content, you want to see more of Dan and the crazy things that I've created, like these stupid tongs, these are mad, you can go and find those things on in the description. That's everything. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I will leave a couple of links to some other videos for you to enjoy at home. I will leave a link up here to a video of me making another set of crazy tongs. This down here is a link to one of the most recent videos, and this here is a video that YouTube thinks that you will enjoy, and I will leave my subscribe button just here. Thank you so much for joining me. Good night. Bye-bye.